I fucked that one up so hard it's actually funny. Well, at least it's democratic, as you can vote for how many times as you want. Heck, you could vote for all three of the scenarios if you really wanted to. A special thanks goes to Mr. Z for absolutely fucking the system up. Which makes all of that hard work that I put into that pointless. The funnier, um, fuck grammar. The other funny thing is that he did all of that freedom of expression when we were in the Skype call. Needless to say, I laughed my ass off on that one. So, today's scenario is about what if the Tsar survived his assassination and leads his army to victory. This scenario won by one vote. Guess who gave the final vote? The way that I see this from ever happening is like this. When the Russian Civil War starts, the Tsar begs the United Kingdom to allow him to seek refuge in India, and then later on in the main island. Meaning that the Tsar will no longer have control of his army. In fact, most of his nation. Winter of 1918. The Central Powers have surrendered, the Russians have lost a lot of territory to the Bolsheviks and the newly formed nations. But now, the Allied powers of France, Britain, and Japan will aid the Russians to retake the lost lands. When I say aid, I mean a lot more aid, so that in the winter of 1919, the Russians will beat the Bolsheviks and send them underground, making them a terrorist organization. Henceforth, the Russian Civil War has ended. The Tsar goes to his palace, and then he sits on his throne. The only thing going through his mind is... What the fuck just happened? In a matter of days, a group of peasants that barely knew how to hold a weapon had stormed the palace and took control of most of Russia at one point. So to avoid this, the Tsar will get help from his allies, so that he can turn Russia into a constitutional monarchy. But that fails as famine hits Russia for the seventh time now. Tsar, afraid of another revolution, dismisses the government for the millionth time, and stages martial law. His first objective is to feed the starving population and employ the workers. Think about the 5 years plan. But... But, I hear myself say, they don't have the industrial centers of Belarus and Ukraine. So by 1925, Russia is preparing for war and is almost fully mobilized. The Allied powers insist that they will help Russia. The Allied powers are also facing the Great Depression, which is treating them like this turtle. The Russians' justification is to annex the mostly Russian minority of all of Ukraine and the mostly majority of Belarusians in White Russia. Poland would most likely join in the war and would help the Ukrainian and Belarusian government in defeating Russia. That's gonna go well, am I right, 8-year-old nation? Oh, you're so cute with your new army. Look at ya. Russia, with a much larger army, will push all of them to the Carpathian Mountains and to the Polish border. Then, afterwards, the Tsar will try to have peace with Poland as soon as possible. Now, there is two scenarios that this could play out. Either A. Poland keeps on fighting and will lose to the Russians. Or B. Poland and Russia make peace and exchange territories. Let's be nice to the Poles for a change, and let's just say that they surrender and exchange territories with Russia. Now that the Tsar has the industrial and agricultural centers of Ukraine and Belarus, he will start another 5-year plan, Woohoo! More people dying from harsh work environments. Russia will slowly adapt to a self-sufficient system, but before this could finalize, they first must control the Caucasian Mountains, the south portion of the Caspian Sea, and also Manchuria.
But Omar, Japan controls Manchuria, and Iran controls the south portion of the Caspian Sea. Japan aided them, and Iran's sort of a British ally.
First of all, why are our audios so different? Second of all, I thought that I locked my door. Why is there glass on the floor?
First, answer the question, Pally, and then I'll leave.
First, they would re-annex the Caucasus. They need to protect the south of Russia. Then there is Japan. Japan is slowly building its empire, and they are trying to expand to China. So the Russians could justify war with them, as they fear that they might expand north. Russia could beat Japan, due to the fact that they are now more mobilized and better equipped than they are, but the war would still drag out all the way to the 1930s. Russia would then annex parts of Manchuria and install a puppet government in Korea. The rest could go to China. I'm not gonna touch that. About Iran. Iran is an ally to Britain, yes, but Britain will still be more occupied on its colonies, and if Russia doesn't look to take the rich oil fields of the south, then they would be fine. And I want this country to look cool. Now, can you fuck off?
You know what? That's not very neighborly of you, you vacuous paraquat. But this won't be the last you see of me.
Yeah, wait, what?
Oh no, I have much more planned for you. For I have limited omnipresence. I see all and know all. See ya! Auf Wiedersehen! Dos vidania!
Fuck. Now, what about World War II? What changes there? Well, Hitler comes to power, goes to war with Poland, and the Allies join in. Mostly everything goes like in our timeline. Until in September of 1940 when the Hungarians demand Transylvania. Fuck, I could have used a trans joke there! Romania would be fully supported by Yugoslavia, Bulgaria, and most importantly, Russia. On the other hand, Hungary has the support of Germany and. I'm wasting my breath saying this, am I? And Italy. Germany will try to keep Hungary at bay. Like a dog. Hey, I didn't finish! I wanted to call out Romania too, but they're dogs to Russia! Now we have another split. Either A, they go to war, or B, they go to war. It would be a really boring video if there's a peace option, am I right? November of 1940, Russia, Yugoslavia, Romania, and Bulgaria joined the war on the Allied side, being the only fascist nations to do so. The war doesn't last as long as it did in our timeline. It will last till 1943 or at most 1944, as Russia wasn't purged of good generals. Stalin. Ahem. Most of Germany would be occupied by the Russians. Puppet governments would be placed, territories would be annexed, and new nations would be born. Let's check how Asia's do. Oh, Japan turned communist. Oh, China's fallen to the Russians. Well then, how about the USA? Oh, they didn't join the war as Japan didn't attack them. Well, here we go. Russia controls the world with a fascist ideology. Britain and France are alone in Europe. Probably by 1947, Europe will be invaded by the Russians, and they can't stop that. The nuke would be invented by 1949 by the Russians, and London would be the first target in history. Huh. At least it's millions of times better than what it is in Macedonia right now. Thanks for watching. Hope that all of you have a great New Year's. Yeah, I know. I missed the deadline 5 days. Yeah, I fucking know. Kill me, am I right? But at least I uploaded it. Anyways, special thanks goes to Mr. Z to add a new voice to this channel. Go give him some love, and say that he's a fucking bastard. Yes. Anyways, there's still more that I need to cover in this scenario. So, because of that, I will be doing another part on this scenario. Next year, of course. Anyways, see ya. Hit the music.
Artilleria, Hosanna Zambegi. Artilleria, Hosanna Zambegi.
What does limited omnipresence even mean?